Welcome to this exploration of what it's really like to live in Tel Aviv as an Anglo immigrant. Tel Aviv is Israel's New York, the city that never sleeps, the economic engine, the cultural capital, the place where ambitious young people come to build careers and live intensely. Founded in 1909 as a Jewish neighborhood outside the ancient port city of Jaffa, Tel Aviv has grown into Israel's second-largest city with about 460,000 residents in the city proper and over 4 million in the greater metropolitan area. Unlike Jerusalem's 3 millennia of religious history or Modi'in's planned suburban comfort, Tel Aviv is fundamentally about now: contemporary culture, nightlife, beaches, startups, restaurants, art, and a secular lifestyle that feels more European or American than Middle Eastern. Tel Aviv has a significant Anglo population, but it's fundamentally different from Modi'in's concentrated family suburbs or Jerusalem's religious enclaves. The Anglo presence is estimated at 5 to 10% citywide, but this varies dramatically by neighborhood and demographic. Young professionals in their 20s and 30s working in high-tech, startups, finance, or creative industries often live in city center neighborhoods and are very integrated into the broader international Israeli scene. Many may not identify primarily with an Anglo community. Established professionals and small families in their 30s and 40s with often no children or 1 to 2 children live in nicer neighborhoods and represent a mix of long-term residents and those who aged out of cheaper areas. There's a small minority of religious families seeking Tel Aviv career opportunities while maintaining observance, though many eventually move to suburbs for schools and community. Unlike Modi'in, where you're surrounded by Anglos, or Jerusalem, where Baca creates an Anglo bubble, Tel Aviv Anglos are dispersed throughout the city and integrated into the broader international Israeli urban scene. You won't find concentrated Anglo communities or extensive support infrastructure. You're simply living in an international city that happens to be in Israel. Let me be brutally honest. Tel Aviv is one of the world's most expensive cities for housing. It regularly ranks alongside New York, London, Hong Kong, and San Francisco for cost of living. In city center around Merkaz and Dizengoff area, a 2-bedroom apartment costs 3.5 to 5.5 million shekels. That's $1 million to $1.56 million. In premium areas like Neve Tzedek or Rothschild Boulevard, a 2-bedroom runs 5 to 8 million shekels. Even in trendy southern neighborhoods like Florentin and Shapira, a 2-bedroom costs 3 to 5 million shekels. Tel Aviv housing costs match or exceed Jerusalem's Baca, significantly exceed Modi'in by 40 to 60%, and are roughly double Netanya's prices. Most young Anglos in Tel Aviv rent rather than buy because purchase prices are prohibitive. A 2-bedroom in city center rents for 6,500 to 10,000 shekels monthly. That's $1,850 to $2,850. Shared apartments are common for young professionals at 3,000 to 5,000 shekels per month per room. What justifies Tel Aviv's astronomical costs? First, career opportunities. Tel Aviv is Israel's economic powerhouse and high-tech hub, with thousands of startups and multinationals like Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Meta, all having major offices. It's the startup nation epicenter with more startups per capita than anywhere except Silicon Valley. Average salaries are the highest in Israel. Senior engineers earning 50,000 to 80,000 plus shekels monthly. Executives 100,000 plus. If you're ambitious and career-focused, Tel Aviv offers opportunities unavailable elsewhere in Israel. Second, urban lifestyle and walkability. Tel Aviv is Israel's only truly walkable city where you can live without a car. You can walk to work, restaurants, culture, and beach within 15 to 30 minutes. There's excellent public transportation and everything is accessible. It's a 24/7 city where there's always something open and always something happening. Third, beach culture. Tel Aviv has 14 kilometers of Mediterranean coastline with multiple beaches. Beach volleyball, surfing, paddleboarding, swimming year-round, and a beachfront promenade for running and cycling mean the beach is genuinely integrated into daily life. People go before work, during lunch, and after work. Fourth, culinary scene. Tel Aviv's restaurant scene is world-class with Michelin-level fine dining, every international cuisine imaginable, innovative fusion combining Israeli ingredients with global techniques, vibrant cafe culture with hundreds of excellent coffee shops, and street food excellence. You can eat at a different restaurant every night for months and never exhaust the options. Fifth, culture and arts. There are numerous museums, theaters including Habima and Kameri, the Israel Philharmonic, live music venues, jazz clubs, electronic music scene, cinema city complex, street art, design culture, fashion and design weeks. The cultural offerings are extensive. Sixth, nightlife. Tel Aviv has the Middle East's most vibrant nightlife with clubs open until 6 a.m., where people actually stay until then, bar scenes on Dizengoff and Rothschild and Florentin, live music venues every night, one of the world's most LGBTQ+ friendly cities, beach parties in summer, and rooftop bars with Mediterranean views. Seventh, secular liberal atmosphere. Tel Aviv is Israel's secular capital with no Shabbat restrictions. Everything open Friday night and Saturday, public transportation running on Shabbat, non-kosher restaurants widely available, liberal social attitudes, bikinis on beaches, nightlife culture, and minimal religious pressure or expectations. For secular people uncomfortable with Jerusalem's religious intensity, Tel Aviv provides secular Israel. Eighth, international character. Tel Aviv feels international in ways other Israeli cities don't, with English widely spoken in business and social settings, a massive expat community including French, Germans, and Russians, international companies and culture, and European cafe culture meeting Middle Eastern energy. It feels like Barcelona or Berlin more than a typical Middle Eastern city. Unlike Modi'in, Netanya, or RBS, where most professionals commute elsewhere for work, Tel Aviv offers the rare luxury of living where you work. You can walk or bike to office in 10 to 30 minutes, or take a short bus ride in 20 to 40 minutes. You can go home for lunch, attend kids' school events, exercise before or after work, and actually have work-life balance. This advantage cannot be overstated. Reclaiming 2 to 3 hours daily from commuting transforms quality of life. Tel Aviv offers Israel's most robust job market. In high-tech, software engineers earn 25,000 to 50,000 plus shekels monthly. Senior engineers and architects earn 40,000 to 70,000 plus. Engineering managers earn 50,000 to 90,000 plus. In finance, senior positions earn 50,000 to 100,000 plus monthly. For Anglos, English is often the working language in high-tech. International companies welcome Anglo talent, and Hebrew is helpful but not always essential initially. The challenge is that salaries are high by Israeli standards, but need to cover astronomical housing costs. Here's Tel Aviv's biggest weakness for families. Schools are problematic, especially for Anglos seeking quality education with some English support. Public secular schools vary dramatically in quality by neighborhood, with the best schools in North Tel Aviv's Ramat Aviv area. Central Tel Aviv schools can be overcrowded with minimal Anglo population in most schools, at 5 to 10%, and limited support for Hebrew learners. Religious school options are very limited. Tel Aviv is a secular city with few modern Orthodox schools, and nothing comparable to Jerusalem's religious infrastructure. Private and international schools exist, like Walworth Barber American International School with U.S. curriculum, but expensive at 70,000 to 90,000 shekels per year, serving primarily diplomatic and expat families. The reality for families is that many Anglo families with children leave Tel Aviv for Modi'in, Ra'anana, or Jerusalem once kids reach school age because of better schools in those cities, more Anglo kids for peer support, more space and family-friendly infrastructure, and lower cost per square meter, making larger apartments affordable. Tel Aviv is genuinely difficult for families with school-age children unless you can afford private international schools or are comfortable in Israeli secular schools without much support. Tel Aviv is Israel's most secular city, about 80% secular or traditional, 80% 15% religious, 5% Haredi. For observant Jews, living observantly in Tel Aviv requires commitment with fewer synagogues than Jerusalem, limited kosher restaurant options relative to city size, minimal Shabbat atmosphere as the city runs full speed, public desecration of Shabbat everywhere, and finding observant community requiring effort. For secular Jews, Tel Aviv is paradise. You're in the majority, everything is open on Shabbat, there's no judgment about observance, secular culture dominates, and you can live completely secular life while still being in a Jewish state. The daily rhythm in Tel Aviv is distinctive. The city comes alive slowly in mornings with cafes filling with laptop workers, and professionals heading to offices where 10 a.m. starts are common in startups. Midday sees lunch as a social event with restaurants packed. Afternoons continue with work, but often with flexibility. Evenings are when Tel Aviv really shines. Restaurants fill by 8 p.m., bars get busy by 10 p.m., streets are full of people dining, strolling, socializing. Late night is when Tel Aviv differs from most cities. Clubs don't even get busy until 1 to 2 a.m., and people stay out until dawn, with early morning having post-party crowds getting breakfast. Weekends show Tel Aviv's secular character. Friday is a relaxed day with early finish and beach crowded. Friday night, unlike Jerusalem's Shabbat quiet, Tel Aviv buzzes with bars, restaurants, and clubs all open. Saturday sees the beach packed. Rothschild Boulevard closed to cars for people to cycle, walk, and picnic, brunch culture, and evening picking up again. Saturday night, Motzai Shabbat, is major going out time. This is Tel Aviv's defining feature: constant activity and energy. Living without a car is genuinely viable in Tel Aviv. You can walk to most necessities within neighborhoods. There's an excellent bus network with frequent Dan buses. The light rail is under construction and gradually expanding. Bike share systems like Telo Fun operate throughout the city, and taxis and ride-sharing services like Get and Uber are available. Many young professionals don't own cars, saving significant money. Having a car creates challenges with parking being a nightmare that's expensive, scarce, and stressful. Many buildings have no parking from being built before the car era. Street parking requires constant circling, and monthly parking lots cost 800 to 1,500 shekels monthly. Beyond housing, everything is also expensive in Tel Aviv. A monthly budget for a single professional runs 11,000 to 18,300 shekels. That's $31.40 to $52.10. For a couple with one child, the monthly budget is 20,800 to 31,700 shekels, $59.30 to $90.30. A restaurant dinner for two costs 300 to 600 shekels at mid-range to nice places. Required income for a single professional is 15,000 to 20,000 shekels monthly gross minimum, with better lifestyle requiring 25,000 to 35,000. For a couple with child, you need 35,000 to 50,000 shekels monthly gross household minimum. Tel Aviv has excellent Mediterranean climate with hot, humid summers moderated by sea breeze, mild winters with some rain, over 300 sunny days annually, and beach season running April through November. Healthcare access is excellent with all 4 health funds having multiple clinics, Ichalov Saraski Medical Center as a major hospital in city center, many English-speaking doctors, and quick access to specialists. Tel Aviv feels very safe day-to-day with low crime for a major international city, and women feeling safe alone at night. Security concerns exist as a target during conflicts with rockets from Gaza and terrorist attacks occurring, though infrequently. All buildings have bomb shelters, and Iron Dome provides protection. Life continues despite threats as Israelis develop resilience. The critical difference from other cities is that Tel Aviv doesn't have an organized Anglo community like Modi'in or Jerusalem. Anglos are dispersed, integrated into international Israeli scenes, and often don't identify primarily as Anglos. Social networks form through work colleagues in often international teams. neighborhood cafes and regular spots, sports and hobby groups, and industry networking events. Support infrastructure is minimal compared to Modi'in or Jerusalem. You're expected to integrate into broader city life with less hand-holding for newcomers. It's a sink or swim environment. While English works in many contexts like high-tech, international companies, and tourist areas, functional Hebrew is essential for banking and bureaucracy, healthcare navigation, real estate transactions, most service providers, social integration, and full participation in city life. Tel Aviv works ideally for young professionals in their 20s and 30s in high-tech or creative industries, career-focused individuals prioritizing professional advancement, people earning high salaries of 50,000 plus shekels monthly, those valuing urban culture, dining, nightlife, and arts, beach and outdoor lifestyle enthusiasts, secular individuals uncomfortable with religious environments, singles or couples without children or with one child maximum, LGBTQ plus individuals seeking a welcoming environment, people who thrive on energy, stimulation, and constant activity, those comfortable without traditional Anglo community support, and ambitious immigrants willing to fully integrate into the Israeli international scene. Tel Aviv doesn't work well for families with multiple school-age children where schools are problematic, expensive, and space is limited, religious families seeking observant community and infrastructure, middle-income earners who can't afford housing costs, those seeking traditional Anglo community with organized support, people prioritizing affordability over lifestyle, suburban-minded individuals wanting space quiet and parking, those uncomfortable with secular culture and Shabbat desecration, and anyone uncomfortable with constant stimulation and noise. For children and family life, the challenges are significant. Apartments are small, at 90 to 110 square meters, typical for 3 bedrooms. There's limited outdoor space with no yards. Schools have issues as discussed. Expensive childcare runs 4,000 to 6,000 shekels monthly. There's less safety for independent child mobility than suburbs. Fewer Anglo peer families for support. Cultural activities are expensive, and summer camps are expensive. Most Anglo families with 2+ children eventually leave Tel Aviv for Modi'in, Ra'anana, or elsewhere. Tel Aviv represents a specific choice about what you want from life in Israel. You're choosing career advancement over work-life balance, urban excitement over suburban tranquility, cultural stimulation over spiritual depth, international sophistication over Jewish community, present experience over future family planning, lifestyle over savings, and energy over ease. The trade-offs are stark. You get best career opportunities, world-class culture, beach lifestyle, international environment, urban energy, and secular freedom, but you give up space, affordability, family infrastructure, schools, Anglo community support, quiet, and religious options. Tel Aviv is Israel's city for ambitious, secular, high-earning young professionals who want to live intensely, build careers, experience world-class culture, and enjoy Mediterranean urban lifestyle. It's extraordinary for people in their 20s and 30s in high-tech or creative industries who can afford it and don't have school-age children. Tel Aviv succeeds brilliantly at being Israel's economic engine, cultural capital, and secular cosmopolitan center. If you want the most dynamic, exciting, international urban experience Israel offers, nothing else comes close. But it fails at being affordable, family-friendly, religiously supportive, or providing organized Anglo community infrastructure because it's not trying to succeed at these things. They're simply not the city's purpose. For the right person at the right life stage, Tel Aviv is the best place to live in Israel, maybe one of the best cities in the world. The combination of Mediterranean climate, beach culture, world-class dining, vibrant nightlife, career opportunities, and Israeli energy is genuinely extraordinary. But it requires specific circumstances: high income, career ambition, secular values, either no children or willingness to navigate challenges, comfort without traditional community support, and genuine appreciation for intense urban lifestyle.